Greetings and salutations, viewers. Welcome again to ConnectiCon 2016. I'm Charles from Inspire the Muse, and we are here with none other than Guy Gilchrist. Welcome.
Thanks.
Now, you have done a ridiculous amount of awesome work in the illustrative world.
That's nice of you to say. I stay busy, you know?
Hopefully out of trouble as well?
No.
What sort of works have you done that are out there that our viewers would probably recognize?
Well, I'm the original cartoonist of the Muppets. I started working with Jim in 1981, doing the Muppets comic strip that was in newspapers all around the world. And I'm one of the guys that created the Muppet Babies. Worked on Fraggles, you know, so I was, with Jim most of the 80s.
That's awesome.
Kevin and Peter, Eastman and Laird, asked me to get involved with the Turtles right around the time of the show started.
The Teenage Mutant variety?
Yeah. Those Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ones with weapons and April, you know. The last 22 years, I've been writing and drawing the comic strip Nancy and Sluggo. That's
How
in
did
papers
you get into that one?
Which one?
Nancy and Sluggo.
Well, back in the 80s, I created a bunch of children's books. The Tiny Dinos, Mud Pie. People in Connecticut know those characters real well. And my licensing agents were United Features. Anyway, so I had a relationship with United Features. And when Jerry Scott, who had took over Nancy and Sluggo for Ernie Bushmiller when he passed away, Jerry had just got Zits syndicated. And so he was going over to King Features and he was leaving Nancy. And so I got a call and they asked if I would audition and I said no. And it was my agent, David, and I said no. And anyway, when I hung up the phone, I went into my files and I found old Ernie Bushmiller Nancy stuff, and I tried to draw Nancy and I couldn't draw her. And it kind of ticked me off, you know? So for about a week, without telling anybody, I did model sheets and stuff and drew Nancy. And then I called my agent about a week later and said, okay, I got 6 dailies for you. And he said, I thought you weren't going to do it. And I said, Anyway, he said, hang on, I'll call United. So he called United and said, well, nice work, genius. They already got somebody.
Oh.
And I said, well, okay, forget it. That's fine.
Fair enough.
And he said, but send me over the stuff because I'll show that, you can work in a different style and stuff. So I sent the stuff in. I don't know who the guy was. I feel bad. Because anyway, they brought my stuff in. Within an hour, I had a contract, and that was 22 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What has it been like writing a series for that long?
It's fun.
I would hope so.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to do things for 5 years. Like, I figured, after 5 years, I'm done. I'm there, been there, done that, right? And then but as I got older, when 5 years came up with Nancy, I still liked doing it. And so I did it another 5, and now it's been like 22 years. The characters really are like part of my family, and it's still going strong. We're in like 80 countries around the world. We're in, over 300 papers, which is something because there's not a lot of newspapers anymore. And my United was sold to Universal Press Syndicate about 7 or 8 years ago, and they are awesome. They're the syndicate that has like Calvin and Hobbes and Farside and stuff. And they have a website called Go Comics and an app that you can download, Go Comics, right? And there's like millions and millions of people. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great app. And anyway, so we're on there. And so we a lot of folks that read a lot of the independent comics and find us, because of that. And certainly we have a really good readership ourselves, millions and millions of people, and so then folks find brand new strips, that they wouldn't have otherwise found. So Go Comics has really been good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's your creative process like when either creating something brand new, just of your very own, versus something that's already established and out there.
Well, it's totally different. Like your creative process when you're taking on babysitting an icon, and I mean I've been really fortunate.
You've got to play in a lot of very cool pools.
Yeah. Well, we had a big studio. I used to live here in Connecticut, and I had a big studio, first in Unionville, my first house, and then I moved down to Fairfield County, Monroe, and we had in Trumbull, and we had a huge studio, and I had a lot of wonderful people working with me, so we were able to take on a lot of stuff. But the creative process, when you take on something like Tom and Jerry or Looney Tunes or something like that, what you do is you go and look at what there was before, and then you don't try to make it your own. You don't try to put your own stamp on it. That's like a thing that people do. That's a problem.
I've seen a lot of other people out there try and do that and get flack.
Yeah, exactly. No, so what you try to do is morph into, like Chuck Jones, morph into his vibe, right? Or, Tex Avery, whoever it happens to be. And the way that I would always do that, I'd be like, I would, on the movie stuff, I didn't have any scraps, so we'd have to freeze frame a tape, and I'd draw and then try to do it, and then do turnarounds.
Okay.
Draw the character, and then just keep drawing the character over and over and over again till you get the vibe, for the character, and not put your own stuff in. Like, really try not to, because here's the thing: even though you're not trying to, your stuff, you will get in there. So you desperately try to not. And that's kind of the creative process for doing that.
You want it to be more subtle than beat you over the head with it.
You want to try to copy Chuck Jones or whoever it happens to be. Like the reason that we got the Turtles gig was because I think that Kevin and Peter knew that we had a big studio and we could do kind of any style. And the thing was, the deadline on the Random House books was so tight. We didn't even have a chance to send the artwork in to get it approved.
Oh, geez.
We would get the script. I would edit the script, for kids, and we'd make a kid's script for the book. I'd send that in, get that approved, but then we would pencil the stuff out, ink it, airbrush it, do the whole thing. The first thing that Kevin and Peter ever saw was finished stuff, because we were super busy, and they were on such a tight deadline. And that was one of the only things that was ever like that. But we wound up doing a ton of that kind of stuff because of that, because we could try to morph into whatever they were doing. For years, I was the only guy. My studio was the only company that was licensed by Warner Brothers to do the Looney Tunes characters without having to send the work in to LA.
Awesome.
Yeah, and same with Tiny Toons and a lot of other stuff.
That's incredible to have that level of trust.
Oh, I know. I know.
That's pretty rare.
It's funny because I never met Kevin or Peter, and I had done 1,000 pages of their stuff, right? And so I'm going in to do a talk. It's 4 or 5 years ago. I'm going to Indianapolis. I'm going to do a talk at a con about Muppets, And I'm walking in the auditorium, and Kevin's walking. I'm going, I think that's Kevin Eastman, And that was the first time I ever met him, and I had done 1,000 pages of his stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to slug me in the face or what. It turned out he was a fan, and he really liked what I did.
That's awesome.
Hey, God bless him. I was happy.
Unfortunately, we're tight on time.
Yeah, I think the con is starting and stuff like that, and I got to go draw pictures.
Before we wrap up, where can our viewers find all of your awesome work and enjoy it?
Well, we're redoing the website, but right now you can go to nancyandsluggo.com, nancyandsluggo.com. After a lot of market research, we found that people liked Nancy and Sluggo, so we did nancyandsluggo.com.
Nice.
So they can go visit me there and send me a note, and I read everything. And there's my schedule will be on there. Where I'm going to be. We do a lot of conventions, so hey, God bless you. Thanks for asking me in. And
thank you for joining us.
And I never ever close out without thanking everybody for for reading my stuff and buying my lunch boxes and all that kind of stuff over the years, because you're the reason I've got a car, a house, and the kids went to college. So thank you.
As always, go check the YouTube channel and our website for all the other interviews we've done at ConnectiCon and all the shenanigans we get up to, because shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
And until next time, go be creative.